Starting with the history of anime, I mean, anime really started back with Disney and Steamboat Willie and the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck characters. Japanese animation did not come along for a really long time after that. The first person that I know of to be inspired by Western animation for Eastern animation. Come in. You can come in. We're barely starting. We're just chit-chat. This is animation for women in history. I'll repeat myself. Walt Disney was really the first who started with animation back in the 30s, and he started with Steamboat Willie. Have all of you seen Steamboat Willie? You know, when he's on a steamboat. And the early Mickey Mouse, which did not have the voice of Mickey Mouse as we now know it. You know, it was a different voice. And Walt Disney was the one who did Mickey Mouse's voice. As you know, please come in, have a seat anywhere. Japanese animation was kind of late in starting. It didn't start when Western animation started. I just have some little notes here, so as I'm flipping pages, you'll understand, so I can kind of keep on target. After the Second World War, there was a man named Tezuka. Are you familiar with him? And anyhow, he was inspired by Disney. And also another man named Fleischer, who was the Superman cartoons. So anyhow, he was inspired. Tezuka was the one who started with the large heads and the big round. There's always room on the carpet. He started with the large eyes, the big heads, and the big hair. And Tezuka was especially noted because what he did was, it wasn't just classical cartoons and classical music for animation. He started introducing a wide range of motions into the plots. One of his first pieces to come around was Astro Boy and Kimba the White Lion. And it was, I guess, the early Simba, It was about a young lion who grows into adulthood. And it wasn't so much known for the anime, but for the storytelling. And that is really the beginning of anime, and that's what anime is really known for, as you know, and that's what draws all of you into anime, is the storytelling. Because it's different than Western animation. I mean, now we've got Pixar and we've got, Disney also trying to catch up. But Japanese anime is so much more sophisticated now than our Western animation is. Anyhow, anime began to rise to power in the 70s. Mushi and Toei continued to grow. Also, do any of you know what mecha is short for? Mechanical. Great. And manga is the comic books. I know I'm probably speaking to the Greek chorus here, as all of you know. But anyhow, I started doing anime 1980. That's when Richard and I met. Richard Epcar, he's a guy. He's married to me. anyhow, also, he was my boyfriend. I said, can I bring him along for the ride for an audition? And so he and I got into animation. We just started, and one thing just started. But we were the first. We're almost like the dinosaurs around here, because we've been doing it a long time, more than other people have. Anyhow, one of the earliest types of mecha anime was Mazinger Z, which was the prequel for all the robot kind of animation, and that became the precursor for also a lot of the live action mecha anime that was done also. There were things that happened during that time, the good guy versus the bad guy. Lupin III came about in that time also. And it was the misadventures of this, thief who has a good time. And it was a much more unconventional kind of anime than was done previously. However, mecha and Lupin, was it something I said? Bye. Mecha and anime kind of came together with Mobile Suit Gundam, and that was kind of the merging of them. And that's when the merchandising really started coming together, and that was when the Japanese anime scene really started to explode. By the time the 80s came around, Japanese animation was in full swing. It was, and that's when we started, was in 1980. Tezuka's trend for telling stories as well as following the drama became very, very prominent in that time. And Takahashi came out with Ranma and a Half at that time, which was a story around a girl who goes back home to ancient mythological Japan, and she learns to cope with the half-demon in order to save the world. Thank you. I'm just leaning towards my major topic, so anytime you can help me, jump right in. Because I know you're all experts in this one. I'm just doing a little prequel before I jump into my topic. What? Yeah. Anyhow,
cross-dressing, that was actual cross-gender.
Anyhow, then anime became. It started going into full swing, and so it became known for its lolicon, the cute little girls, and then the teenage, and the romantic teenage, and then the soap opera, and adult porn, and so there, and then the huge mythological and spiritual anime that became born also at that time. But the full range of animation came into swing. And one of the very, very first major films to be done was Akira. And Akira had, great popular success, but what came right after, and it became the biggest, it outsold everything in the video market of its time, was the first Ghost in the Shell. And it got even more critical acclaim than even Akira.